Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast, West Denver. Here's a quick message from our sponsor, Local Works Wheat Ridge, provided by its Executive Director, Paige Piper.
Local Works is a nonprofit organization whose mission is to make Wheat Ridge a more vibrant and sustainable place to live and work. Our mission and action is programming that provides neighborhood revitalization and small business support, keeping and growing the businesses we know and love in Wheat Ridge. In simpler form, we provide connection. Connection to business, connection to community.
This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Meg Smith.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome back to the latest episode of the Good Neighbor Podcast, West Denver. Today, I'm here with Nakia Laubscher of Chefate. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for joining me here.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about Chefate and your services.
Yeah, so I guess to start off, I am a chef, and most of my career has, been in different aspects of food service industry. But whenever I was working, sometimes I found myself stuck in what do I cook for dinner? Or, what am I going to make this week? And so even as a chef, I was having that problem. So I was like, well, I know other people out there have a similar problem too. So I built this business really to support busy people, especially busy moms who love to cook at home, but they just don't really have the time or like the mental capacity. And so I help them through meal planning and grocery delivery. And I also do cooking classes in the Denver area. And then for like digital online, I can help people with meal planning, across the country.
I love that. And so how did you get into being a chef in the first place?
I've known that I wanted to do something with food since I was about 12 years old. I would read cookbooks as a kid and watch my fair share of the Food Network. And I just, my parents were very nice in allowing me to experiment in the kitchen. So whenever I was done with homework and whatnot, I would get to go in the kitchen and cook some food or bake some food and just try out a lot of stuff. So all of that really fueled my passion for cooking. And I went to college at Johnson & Wales here in Denver. And that really definitely solidified, okay, I want to work with food, but restaurants, hotels, like that part of the industry is kind of exhausting. But I really fell in love with food science and the food science aspect. And so that's kind of how I built my career, like post-collegiate.
Gotcha. Yeah. And there's some things I really love about your service, having gotten to know you a little bit. And one of those is the seasonality of your menus. So tell us a little bit about, including seasonality. There might be other reasons too, but why do folks, want to choose you over other things? Because there's all these different meal prep services, So tell us a little bit about why yours is a little bit more special.
Yeah, so there is definitely that niche, I guess, of people who love to cook. So they don't want to give the whole meal prep away. So they don't want to do, takeout or delivery from restaurants. And they also don't want to have already cooked meals delivered to their home, like from a local meal kit company. So I kind of fill the need in the, I guess, middle-ish there of people who don't want to do the whole thing start to finish by themselves, but they also don't want too much done for them. And instead of using, a really large grocery delivery service, whenever I go grocery shopping for my clients, we've already had a conversation. Usually it's through email, but sometimes I'll get on the phone, talk about what they like, what their kids tend to enjoy, not enjoy. And they know that I am in the grocery store shopping for them. It's not, just like a faceless app experience. I also, so my website is where I host my digital cookbook. And that is where clients go in and they choose their meals. And so I do love to highlight, seasonality and garden season has started as far as like stuff sprouting up. Pretty soon we're going to have stuff in our gardens. So when I know clients have a million zucchinis coming up and whatnot, I can, recommend those recipes for them. So I try to really help my clients save time as much as possible by being that more personal and very customizable service.
Mm-hmm.
And I care about my clients.
Yeah. Yeah. And you touched on a really important point there, because if they have some of the ingredients, they can share that with you during the order process. And I love that you're doing the shopping, because everybody who's ordered from Instacart out there knows that half the time you get the worst pick of the fresh produce from that Instacart shopper, because they don't care.
Right.
So I appreciate that, you're an educated person. You're going to pick things for ripeness and quality. And we can also tell you what we need versus those pre-prepped, or not even pre-prepped, but the meal kit companies, because with them, you have to receive every ingredient. You might have it, but you still have to receive it as part of their kit. It's not customizable.
Right. And with my recipes, sometimes, maybe I have mushrooms in there, but my client doesn't like mushrooms. So I'll recommend, oh, hey, do you want to swap that out for, and give them a couple options depending on the meal and flavor, everything. So again, that's like other places, like meal kit companies, they don't really allow substitutions at all. And then with some other grocery delivery, if they make substitutions in the stores, sometimes they don't make very much sense. But because I'm shopping for the recipe I wrote, I can very confidently say like, oh, you can substitute this for this in this way. And that way my client feels like, okay, I can still make the meals that I planned. It's not, okay, I got my grocery delivery home and now the spinach is wilted and they gave me soy sauce instead of sriracha and I don't know what to do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a very good point. When the grocery store doesn't have the ingredient, what are you going to end up with? It's not a crapshoot when you're shopping. Right. I love that. So many good aspects of your service.
Thank you.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about any hardships that you've been through as a business owner that really ended up improving your service.
Yeah, so I have always been pretty independent. And so in starting a business, I thought, oh yeah, I can do this like on my own. I'll enjoy that. I enjoy working by myself. But I have a strong foundation in culinary, not in marketing and sales and all of the other things we do as business owners. So learning to ask others for help and doing a lot of networking. And then there are just some people, whenever you are networking, that you find it's a lot more comfortable to be vulnerable with them. And, as business owners, we can kind of help each other through and help each other not feel so lonely. And so that just feeling connected and not having entrepreneurship be a solo endeavor, but really getting a group together, it's definitely helped me personally, but then it can help my clients too, because sometimes, they might mention offhand something else that they might be looking for. And I can think of someone to connect them with to help them, with other things. And so it's not technically part of my service, I would say, but I think it's really helpful to support local and get to know a lot of people in our community, because you can always help a lot of people.
Yeah, through connections. I love it.
Yes.
So tell us about any updates. I know seasonality is a big thing, in the food world. So any updates to, your business, any seasonal information you want to share?
This summer, winter, spring, I was doing some ravioli cooking classes, which were really fun. But in the summer, I'm kind of trying to do more Mediterranean style food or Greek, or if people say hey, can you look at my garden and then come up, we can come up with some meals from that, but do it as a cooking class to have their friends over and do farm to table, but backyard to table.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say definitely this summer, the cooking I guess, the theme of the cooking classes. And I'm always open to customizing them for my clients. So, whatever you want, I'll do. And then I'm also partnering with Carrie and Gatit. And I think Carrie was on the podcast just a week or two ago. We are doing wellness workshops. So Carrie is a nutritionist. Gatit is a psychotherapist. And then for my part, I'm teaching about meal planning. And we really just bring it together how, over your wellness and health overall doesn't need to add stress. When you're focusing on it, you're not necessarily adding stress to your life. So how can we reduce our stress and support our routines to support our overall wellness together? So June 9th is the next one. And then we'll do another one later in August.
Excellent. Yeah. That's really fun. Yeah. So Carrie was on, and she mentioned the event, but I didn't realize that you were the other person. Or one of the other people. So that's fantastic. So how do you get involved in the community? Obviously you're offering a lot of educational opportunities and hands-on cooking opportunities. What else are you up to?
Yes. And I also love when my clients, I should just start that sentence again.
No worries. You're in a safe space.
Whenever I'm putting together a shop for clients, there's a little checkbox that they can check and say, yes, include a food donation item, or they can opt out of that if they want to. So I love whenever my clients do opt into it, because when I go to the grocery store, I pick out, all the ingredients we talked about, and then one canned good item, usually like $3-ish, $2.50, $3. Mm-hmm. And then, so they pay for the item, and then I take it to the food bank on their behalf. So it's amazing. Like the simplest way for them to, help combat food insecurity. I also, whenever I have time, I do love volunteering at the food bank also, but that is more just like my personal time, not necessarily.
Yeah, that's okay. We like to hear about that too. In fact, we would love to know what you do for fun when you're not working.
Yeah, I love hiking and kayaking, all the Colorado things, snowboarding in the wintertime. I have a garden, so I love gardening also. I feel like I've said garden about 50 times the last 10 minutes. It is so fun. Just being able to be outside. Like, we live in such a beautiful state, and I love the sunshine. So, usually being active, or if it's, meeting friends for a patio, like to hang out on a patio, or doing a book club outside or something, just get me outside as much as possible.
Excellent. Yeah, we live in a wonderful place for that. So how should folks get in touch with you if they want to learn more about your services?
Yeah, so I put out new YouTube videos every other Wednesday. So if people want to learn more about meal planning, or sometimes I give meal ideas, like 25 different meal ideas to use up rotisserie chicken, things like that. So it's Chefate, Chefate on YouTube, and then Instagram. I give a lot of tips on there. Those are probably the two most frequently updated social channels. And then my website is chefatellc.com.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Nakia, for visiting with me today and sharing your business with our listeners. And thanks for your time.
Thank you so much. This has been great.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpwestdenver.com. That's gnpwestdenver.com, or call 720-295-9588.